The Jurassic Park franchise has taught us many things. Dinosaurs are awe-inspiring, science often pushes too far, and if you hear ominous rustling in the bushes, it's probably already too late. Across 6 films, we've witnessed characters meet their end in various dramatic and often brutal ways, whether by being chomped, stomped, or dramatically lifted into the air before their inevitable demise. Let's take a moment to reflect on the most memorable, shocking, and sometimes absurd deaths throughout the Jurassic Park saga. Jurassic Park, 1993. On Isla Nublar, a velociraptor kills an InGen employee during transport to a secure enclosure. The worker's family files a lawsuit, leading InGen's investors to question the park's safety. This is the first gory death starting our death count off strong. The scientists drop a cow into the raptor enclosure for a little dinner and a show. The velociraptor wastes no time, absolutely wrecking the poor cow, snapping the support cables, and shredding the harness like it's made of tissue paper. A Tyrannosaurus breaches the deactivated electric fence, consumes the stranded goat, and moves onto the roadway, where it attacks Tim and Lex, who have been left alone after Donald flees. Alan uses a flare to distract the T-Rex and draw it away from the children, but Ian unexpectedly steps in, attracting the dinosaur's attention. He ends up fleeing to a nearby restroom, where Donald is already hiding. The T-Rex demolishes the structure, injuring Ian and killing Donald. Poor Donald here makes it 9. Dennis encounters a young Dilophosaurus. The dinosaur spits venom into his eyes, blinding him. He manages to get back into the Jeep, thinking he's safe, only to find the Dilophosaurus inside. The creature attacks and kills him, bringing our count to 10. Realizing the raptors are close, Robert instructs Ellie to go to the utility shed alone to restore the power while he attempts to hunt the predator. Ellie successfully reactivates the electricity, but Tim is rendered unconscious after being electrocuted while climbing the perimeter fence. Meanwhile, Ellie encounters a raptor hiding in the maintenance shed and discovers Ray's severed arm. She narrowly escapes and flees from the pursuing dinosaur. Ray's death brings our number to 11. As Muldoon prepares to take down a raptor rustling in the bushes ahead, the big one suddenly emerges from the brush beside him. Realizing he has been outmaneuvered, he calmly utters the famous words, "Clever girl," just before the raptor pounces and kills him. His death counts as death 12. A raptor smashes through the window just as Grant fires at it. The group scrambles into the ceiling crawl space, making their way to the visitor center's skeleton display. The raptors give chase, and a struggle erupts atop the fossil exhibits. Just as the raptors cut off their escape, an unexpected savior arrives. The Tyrannosaurus. It suddenly appears, fighting and killing both raptors and ensuring Alan, Ellie, Lex, and Tim make it out alive. The T-Rex kills 2 raptors, bringing our total number to 15. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, 1997. Eddie secures the SUV to his vehicle in an attempt to rescue the trio. However, the T-Rex parents return, violently dismantle the SUV, and together they devour Eddie. His death brings our kill count to 1. While traversing the island, Dieter Stark separates from the group to relieve himself but loses his way. His calls for help go unheard, and he is soon killed by a pack of Compsognathus. The Tyrannosaurus pair invade the camp, causing widespread panic. Roland attempts to shoot the male T-Rex, but discovers that his ammunition has been removed by Nick to prevent the kill, forcing him to use a tranquilizer instead. Meanwhile, the female T-Rex charges through the fleeing hunters, fatally trampling Carter and cornering the survivors behind a waterfall. Burke, startled by a harmless snake, panics and runs directly into the jaws of the T-Rex. The remaining hunters attempt to escape through a field of tall grass. AJ warns them against entering. However, his cries go unheeded, and the group is systematically ambushed and killed by velociraptors. InGen gathers esteemed investors and reporters at the docks to witness the T-Rex's arrival. However, the ship approaches at high speed and crashes into the dock. Security personnel board the vessel, only to discover that the entire crew has perished. Ignoring Ian Malcolm's warning, one guard opens the cargo hold, inadvertently releasing the T-Rex, which immediately escapes into San Diego. As Peter Ludlow surveys the ensuing chaos, Malcolm pointedly remarks, "Now you're John Hammond." Ian and Sarah, with Ludlow in shock, learn that the infant Tyrannosaurus was flown in and is being held at the Jurassic Park amphitheater. They retrieve the infant as its enraged parent rampages through the city, stomping on cars and killing people. The adult T-Rex returns, attacks Ludlow for meddling with its child, and bites him. It then leaves the rest to the infant who attacks and kills Ludlow. Sarah tranquilizes the T-Rex as Ian locks the cargo hold, trapping both dinosaurs inside. An estimated 32 humans and 8 dinosaurs die in the second movie in the franchise. Jurassic Park 3, 2001. Ben Hildebrand and Eric Kirby sign up for a parasailing adventure with the shady, illegal dinosaur company, run by Enrique Cardoso and his sketchy driver. While cruising around, the boat crew mysteriously disappears, leaving behind nothing but a pool of blood and a wrecked boat. The cause of the dinosaur crew's disappearance is never directly revealed, but the most likely suspect is the semi-aquatic Spinosaurus. After their harrowing experience, Ben and Eric finally crash land on Isla Sorna. Their parachute snags on a tree, leaving them dangling. Eric manages to break free, plummeting to the forest floor as Ben captures the moment on a handheld camcorder. Ben doesn't survive for long on the island, and when Ben's body is found later, it's missing its legs, suggesting he was attacked by something deadly. Billy notices Cooper is missing, but Udesky shoves him back into the plane. Just as they start taking off, Cooper stumbles onto the runway, screaming for them to stop. The Spinosaurus bursts out of the trees and devours him. With no choice, Nash takes off early, leaving Cooper to his fate. The plane clips the Spinosaurus and crashes into the jungle, landing in the trees. The survivors, miraculously in one piece, scramble to escape only to realize the Spinosaurus isn't done with them. It shreds the plane, eats Nash, and charges after the rest. While running, the group stumble upon a T-Rex eating a Parasaurolophus it has killed. Grant wisely says, "Stay still," but the group panics and bolts, accidentally leading the T-Rex straight to the Spinosaurus. The two titans clash, giving the humans time to escape. Despite a strong start, the T-Rex loses when the Spinosaurus snaps its neck. Grant pressures the Kirbys for answers and learns they're not rich explorers, just a divorced middle-class couple searching for their missing son, Eric, who's been stranded for 8 weeks. While trekking, they find a parasail with a camcorder and Ben's skeletal remains. Grant picks up Billy's dropped satchel and accidentally gets separated from the group. Meanwhile, Udesky has even worse luck. He runs into a pack of raptors that attack and cripple him. Instead of finishing him off, the raptors use him as bait, hoping to lure Billy and the Kirbys down from their hiding spot in a tree. Seeing Udesky twitch, Amanda and Paul think he's still alive and start climbing down. Billy realizes it's a trap, but before he can warn them, Amanda slips and dangles from a branch. 2 raptors leap at her, trying to pull her down. But when the trap fails, one raptor gets frustrated and finishes Udesky by snapping his neck. The group reaches a bridge leading to a canal boat, but as they cross the foggy structure, Grant spots some suspicious droppings. Turns out they've wandered into a giant aviary full of pteranodons. Before they can react, one swoops in, snatches Eric, and carries him to its hungry offspring. Billy, channeling his inner action hero, straps on the salvaged paraglider and swoops in to save Eric. Unfortunately, the adult pteranodons don't appreciate the interference and swarm him. Billy fights them off but is overwhelmed, plunging into the river as they continue their assault, leaving his fate grimly uncertain. This brings our kill count to 8 recorded deaths. Jurassic World, 2015. In the control room, Lowry Crothers and Vivian Krill realize that the I-Rex is still chilling in its paddock. It suddenly reappears, killing Kilgore and breaking through the gate. Owen and the workers attempt to flee, but Letting is eaten. Owen narrowly escapes by hiding under a vehicle and masking his scent with gasoline. Commander Hamada realizes the I-Rex has removed its tracker, but spots it too late due to its camouflage. The hybrid attacks, killing most of his squad. Claire orders the northern attractions closed, while Owen urges a full island evacuation. The Mosasaurus gets fed every 2 hours. Tourists gather in a massive stadium to witness the prehistoric sea monster's mealtime spectacle. A great white shark, or some other unfortunate big fish, is dangled above the water. With a dramatic leap, the Mosasaurus rockets out of the water, snatches its snack, and crashes back down. Ignoring orders to return, Zack notices a destroyed fence gate and ventures into the forest with Gray. They encounter ankylosaurs, but the camouflaged I-Rex ambushes them, killing one of the dinosaurs. The boys flee and narrowly escape by jumping over a waterfall. Claire, finally realizing that her nephews are stuck, tracks down Owen to help find them. Together, they head to the gyrosphere attraction, where they come across several apatosauruses lying lifeless, gruesomely killed by the Indominus. They realize the Indominus isn't just hunting to eat, it's killing for sport. Masrani, armed with a helicopter and a minigun, attempts to take down the Indominus, but the attack fails. The hybrid smashes through the aviary, unleashing a swarm of panicked pterosaurs. Chaos erupts as the freed creatures swarm Masrani's chopper, sending it spiraling out of control. Owen and Claire watch in horror as the helicopter crashes, killing Masrani and his crew in a fiery explosion. The boys reach the northern security wall, pursued by a swarm of pterosaurs. Once on Main Street, Zara finds them, but is quickly grabbed by a pteranodon and dropped into the lagoon, where the Mosasaurus devours her, along with the attacking pteranodon. Batoon dies after he hears rustling in the bushes beside him. When he turns to investigate, he sees Echo lunging at him, and she quickly mauls him to death. In the ensuing chaos, Alexander, disoriented, is attacked from behind by Delta. Owen stumbles upon Charlie, who seems to recognize him. Sadly, their reunion is short-lived as a rocket suddenly hits Charlie, killing her. As the soldiers flee, Barry takes cover in a log, but Blue attacks him. Owen distracts her, leading Blue to chase him as he escapes on his motorbike. Claire, Zach, and Gray are waiting in a veterinary vehicle when a soldier appears and is killed by Delta while trying to open the back doors. Hoskins reveals he manipulated Masrani to create the Indominus as a military weapon, not just a park attraction. Suddenly, Delta appears and corners him. Despite his attempts to calm her, she bites his arm and ultimately kills him, devouring him whole. The ultimate showdown begins as the T-Rex and Blue team up to take down the Indominus. It's a battle of epic proportions, with claws, teeth, and raw fury flying everywhere. They manage to corner the hybrid right in front of the Mosasaurus lagoon. Just when the Indominus thinks she might get away, the Mosasaurus erupts from the water, grabs the Indominus, and drags her underwater, finishing her off. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, 2018. As the gate closes, a Dilophosaurus scurries into the jungle, but the real threat emerges, a rampaging T-Rex. The group scrambles for safety as their helicopter lowers a rope ladder. Most manage to escape, but Jack is left behind. Just when he thinks he's safe, the Mosasaurus leaps from its enclosure, snatching him midair before disappearing into the water, sealing his fate. Owen heads off alone to find Blue, leaving the others at the truck. He discovers the fallen explorer, 04 near the old Jurassic Park paddock, where Blue suddenly appears. As he tries to reconnect with her, Wheatley and his mercenaries ambush them, tranquilizing Blue. In a desperate struggle, Blue kills a mercenary but is shot in the process, leaving her badly wounded. Franklin and Claire both hide inside a gyrosphere where a Carnotaurus appears and fights a Sinoceratops before being pinned down and killed by the T-Rex. After everyone bolts from the auction, Wheatley sneaks into the empty room and spots the Indoraptor. Never having seen this creature before and eager to score a trophy, he decides a tooth for his necklace would be a fine souvenir. He shoots the Indoraptor with 2 tranquilizer darts and, thinking it's knocked out, enters the cage. Unfazed, the Indoraptor severs his right arm and devours him. Eversol witnesses the brutal death and bolts for the elevator, shoving a woman aside to enter the code. Her scream alerts the Indoraptor, which charges toward the closing doors but misses by seconds. However, the hybrid's tail severs the power supply, causing the elevator to reopen. The doors slide apart, and the Indoraptor wastes no time, tearing through Eversol and the trapped executives in a bloodbath. After failing to convince Maisie to come with him, Mills finally spills the shocking truth to Owen, Claire, and Maisie. She's a clone of Lockwood's long-dead daughter, created using the same cloning technology that brought dinosaurs back to life. Apparently, after his daughter died in a car accident, Lockwood used the sub-basement of his mansion for his very questionable science project. As Owen, Claire, and Maisie reel from this bombshell, the Indoraptor makes its grand entrance, proving that nothing good ever comes from genetic experiments. It kills the 2 security guards with ruthless precision, prompting the group to scramble for their lives in a panic-stricken dash. In a desperate move, Zia releases Blue, who recognizes the group's efforts to save her. With a raptor's loyalty on full display, Blue turns on the mercenaries, tearing into them with savage precision and killing most of them. As Zia and Franklin make a break for safety, Blue finishes off the 2 gunmen with brutal efficiency before making her escape from the lab. In the final showdown, the Indoraptor, bloodied and battered, makes one last desperate move, but it ultimately falls directly onto the horns of an Agujaceratops skull, which impales the hybrid with brutal precision, killing it instantly. The hybrid's reign of terror comes to a bloody, fitting end. As the dust settles, Blue lands gracefully on top of the Indoraptor's lifeless body, pausing for a moment as if to assert her victory. With her escape path clear, she bolts off into the wild, leaving behind the wreckage and a battlefield where the only victor is her, the raptor who survived it all. As Mills prepares to load the Indominus Rex fragment into his car, a distant rumble grows into a full-blown dinosaur stampede. A pteranodon swoops in, snatching one of his men and dropping him onto the car, killing him instantly. Chaos erupts as freed dinosaurs trample another guard and crush Mills's vehicle. Crawling from the wreckage, Mills reaches for the fossilized fragment, only to be intercepted by the T-Rex. She snatches him up, violently shredding him before a Carnotaurus joins in, tearing him in half. With her dominance secured, the T-Rex knocks the Carnotaurus aside, sending it fleeing as she finishes her meal. Jurassic World Dominion, 2022. 4 crab fishermen, a crab fishing boat captain and his co-captain are eaten by the Mosasaurus. As Claire and Owen disrupt the market, dinosaurs are unintentionally released, creating widespread chaos. During the commotion, Owen interrogates Delacourt, who is killed. Ian helps Alan, Ellie, and Maisie escape the facility, and they reunite with Owen, Claire, and Kayla. Owen and Claire finally reunite with Maisie. Meanwhile, Dodgson attempts to flee with dinosaur embryos via a monorail, but meets a grim fate when 3 Dilophosauruses attack and kill him inside a tunnel. The resident Giganotosaurus battles Rexy and gains the upper hand, nearly killing both the T-Rex and the stranded survivors. However, before it can strike the final blow, a Therizinosaurus intervenes, distracting it just long enough for Rexy to shove it into the Therizinosaurus's deadly claws, killing it almost instantly. In the end, these films remind us why resurrecting prehistoric apex predators is a terrible idea, unless, of course, you're the one safely watching from your couch, popcorn in hand, as yet another overconfident human becomes lunch. See you guys at our next adventure. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.